Morning guys, 12th of June 2020. Alan's allotment again here. So it's Friday and I've taken today off and all of next week. Not to do anything special, but purely and simply because the youngsters are hatching in the sheds now. And I'm going to go and do a quick tour in there in a moment and see what's hatched, what hasn't, etc, etc, and have a look around. So, a positive note, we've had a little bit of rain over the last day or two, and I've managed to catch approximately 300 litres of water in that new IBC that we set up last week. So that's a fantastic bonus, that is. I've also managed to catch about 100 litres in the other IBC that was already in situ. Now that's only a 8 foot by 6 foot shed, so it's caught about 100 litres. The other one's 24 foot by 8 foot, and it's caught approximately 300 litres. Same amount of rain pouring down, but obviously the wider surface area fills up the other IBC much quicker. So that's a real good positive, 300 litres, 4 if you count the other 100 in the other IBC. So we managed to catch about 400 litres. I was expecting a little bit more, I'll be honest. But the rain was only like drizzle. It wasn't really heavy rain, it was just a drizzle. But it was prolonged over a 24-hour period, so thankfully 400 litres is gratefully received. Just having a cup of coffee. I'm not coming up here to do anything in particular today, but I was running low on hen feed, so I phoned the local farm shop to see if they were open, and they were taking orders over the phone and doing gate delivery. So basically I had to go there and they delivered it to their gate, and then you load your vehicle up from there off a pallet. So I've been in, I ordered 4 bags of Lay's pellets and 5 bags of cut maize, and of course I still have some of the wheat from the farm from the previous months that I went and collected that. So yeah, I've got all the corn bins topped up for the hens, with several bags of feed in there. That'll keep me going for another couple of months, and put the surplus into the store shed. So my main goal was just to do that today. I had a quick look at the polytunnel, absolutely delighted in there. Everything is growing like wildfire. Haven't watered this week at all, and they're actually doing much better. The peppers are starting to get some small flowers on now. The butternut squash is still going crazy. By the way, I phoned my father-in-law about the butternut squash, and he managed to explain it the best he could. So the ones that look like they're going to start and form as a butternut squash to start with, when the petals open out, if you look inside, there's a cluster for the females, and the male singles as a single stem. But they look more or less identical. But if you look in the flowers, you can see the differences, and what I hadn't noticed this. So what you do is you snap off the ones that's got a male stem, and you peel back the petals on the females, and you manually fertilize the flower with the male flower. So I've done that with 3 or 4 of the flowers through the week. So we're going to see and wait and see if they actually start and turn into butternut squash. The other one is also right up and past the top. I've cut the top off that one as well, to stop it growing any taller. As I say, I had a look around in the greenhouse. Going to need to pull some more lettuce leaves. They're ridiculous. So we're going to have a good feed of lettuce again today. I haven't actually been over into the garden yet to have a look. As I say, by the time I'd done the hen feed, one thing and another, quick look in the polytunnel, came in and made the cup of coffee. I'm going to have a quick look over in the garden. Had a quick check to see how much water we managed to catch. I'm going to have a quick look in the garden before I leave, and then today, that's it. I'm going for some food. I'm doing nothing. I'm having a chill out day today. Yeah, it was quite heavy work humping those 10 bags of feed from the gate and into the shed, but it's done now, that's it. So it literally was just to come up, have a look around, see how things are, quick look in the lofts, quick look in the growing area, and then I'm going home. I'm not doing anything today. It is a little bit dull, overcast and quite windy. So yeah, I'm going to have this cup of coffee and we'll give you a quick look around before I leave, and it's just going to be a short one for today, guys. See you later. Bye. So here I am over in the garden, guys, just doing a check on things, and as you can see, things are all coming along quite nice. The beetroot is still getting established. You can't actually see through the mesh very well on the camera, but they are now getting established in there. And starting to perk up, certainly after the rain that we've had, as are the little snow globe turnips, cabbages, Brussels sprouts, etc. all doing okay. The cauliflowers here that I got off the father-in-law, doing really well. And then, as you can see, we've got the radish next to that. The birds have pulled most of the spring onions out, which I'm really annoyed about, and I need to get a netting over this tomorrow perhaps. And the carrots are still coming along okay. Runner beans are looking a little bit pale, but otherwise they're okay. The turnips, as you can see, all thriving and positively enjoyed the rainfall. More radish, all doing really well. Some more of the mustard leaves and some of the spicy leaves here. The dark basil seems to be a bird's favourite. They're coming along, but the birds are picking all the leaves off, so I need to try and get them covered with something as well, even if I just throw a bit of mesh over them. Yep, and we've got the courgette now starting to spring into life. Bit of flowering. Peas starting to get a hold. Potatoes doing really well, guys. The rain's dropping on the camera and it's playing havoc. But yeah, potatoes doing all well. As are these ones. Getting quite a bit of flower on some of these. The birds, or whatever it is, it's still digging, making a right old mess. I'm just doing a few pickings. And in here you can probably see I've got some of the mustard leaves and the spicy oriental leaves. And there's a good quarter of a carrier bag full here, guys. And I am not finished yet, and I'm going to check a picking off the Lola Rossa lettuces as well this time. So we'll crack on with that. I'll catch you later, guys. Bye. Just going to show you around in the IBC now, guys, just so you can see how much water we've caught just since last weekend. Now that doesn't look a great deal, but considering it was only very fine drizzly rain, that's not bad. And there is markings on the IBC, and that's 75 gallons, so that marking is gallons and that one's litres. And as you can see, we're 200, almost 300 litres. Almost 300 litres. And it can hold 1,000 litres, this, guys. Just trying to show you the actual markings on here. A little bit difficult to see. Yeah, gallons. And you'll have to take me word for it, that one does say litres. Yep. Okay guys, so yeah, nearly 300 litres. Happy days, and it's starting to spit and rain again now, so we might get a little bit more tonight. Catch you later. Okay guys, as you can see, almost a full carrier bag of solid. And it's quite a sizable bag there. We probably won't even eat all of this. I'll probably end up giving the neighbours some or something. Anyways, great stuff, and that's our third picking off the solids. We hadn't had any of the Lola Rosa yet, but that's our first picking today. I've took quite a bit in there, and I've trimmed all these lettuces back now. These were humongous, they really were, and they definitely benefit from being clipped back. And by the way, they're icebergs, so eventually they will heart up, and then you'll get the heart as well. So yeah, I've given them a good old pruning back. And as you can see, these two here are already trying to make a heart in spite of having all the outer leaves taken back off. You can see the tomatoes growing huge now, really coming on, leaps and bounds. Flowers galore on the butternut squash. And now I think I have an inkling. We're going to leave them just to see. This is an experiment, as I say, I've never grew them before. But we're going to try and see if we can get some. And as you can see, the other one reached the top of the line now, and I've cut the top off this morning. And the female flowers that are on these, although there isn't many on this one, I did pollinate. So we might get one or two butternut squash forming on that one, I don't know. But I've also pollinated these. Let me just see if I can give you an idea of what they look like. So the female flowers, as you can see, in the centre they have a cluster with like a hole that you can insert the male flower into, and it actually grabs hold of the pollen. But you can actually see in there is some, perhaps if I can get close enough, you can see bits of pollen around it from where I pollinated it earlier this morning. And it does transpire that the way you identify the males and females is that the females will always grow very close to the vine itself, whereas the males, if I can find one, yeah, so he's a male, and it's just a big long tail, and if I look inside that one, you'll see the difference. And I'm leaving that one because if I want any more females open out, I can use this one for do the pollination. So this one here as well is a female, which I pollinated earlier today. We've got more males here. The males all come out further from the vine as well. So all a learning curve, guys. As I say, I've never grew them, and look at all these that I've lost purely simply because I didn't pollinate them. But there we go. There's a first time for everything, guys. So yeah, all the tomatoes looking really good. And as you can see, the sheer size and flowers everywhere now, guys. Everything's doing really well. Well pleased. Okay guys, catch you later. Bye. Okay guys, in one of the stock lofts now. I'm just going to have a little look and see if we've got any youngsters under here. And as you can see, there's at least one. Yeah, so we've got two youngsters off the reduced cock. That's the first youngsters I've had off this pigeon. He was imported from Holland. They're very rare, these birds, by the way, in the colours. So I'm delighted with that. Two youngsters off him. The brown bar hen and the brown the brown barless hen and the brown barless cock. I don't want to disturb them just in case she is ready to lay. I'm not sure whether she is or has laid. Ice hen, still nothing in there. She's now taking feathers in, but that means nothing. The Van Reed cock. I'm going to give these one last check because I think yeah, there's nothing in them. We're just going to let him sit that out. They'll get fed up. The old boy, I needn't even look at these. It's not going to happen. And I see an eggshell off the white bar cock here. As I said in an earlier video, I'm sure there was only one of these full. And you can see he's an extremely aggressive cock, this one. So I'm just taking the old shell away. Lo and behold, guys, there's two in there. I got that one wrong. I thought there was only one egg hatched, one egg full. And in here, these are off the indigos. You can see we've got one in here as well. The father's just jumped off the nest. He's a bit of a coward, this one, as I say. Some are better than others. Moving on to the khaki cock. Have a little look and see if he's got anything hatched out. Come on, son. Come on, lad. Come on. Have a little look. No, they haven't hatched yet. I can't feel any chips on it, so they won't be too long though. They are full. Yep, they are full. Come on, son. Come on, lad. Come on. Come on, son. Come on. There we go. Sorry if the camera's all over the place, guys. I'm trying to do this all one-handed. You know what? Because I got it wrong with the one upstairs on the top, the white bar cock, I'm going to just check the old fella again. But I'm pretty certain these are clear. He hasn't filled his eggs for the last 2 or 3 years, so no, they're clear. At least that one is. Let's just have a quick look and see if the other one is as well. I'm pretty certain it will be. Yeah, that one's clear as well, guys. He's still a bit of a terror, as you can see, even at that age. And I'm seeing an eggshell in here as well off the Qualman cock. So we'll have a little look. Come on, son. Yes, that's literally just hatched. There's the other half in the nest. I'm going to leave him alone. Okay, son. Okay. Right, so yeah. So there's at least one in this one. 2 in that one, that's 3. I'm not sure the brown barless hen's laid at all. Nothing in there again still off the ice. There's going to be nothing in there, and there's going to be nothing in there. So that's 3 so far. Bonus, we've got 2 on this nest where we thought there was only going to be 1. So that's 5. I'm pretty sure these 2 here are both full and will hatch. But we don't count the chickens till they hatch, remember. And then we've got 1 here as well, that's 6. So that's 6 in this loft, guys. We've got plenty of minerals still in the pots for the birds. And as you can see, they're getting extra corn now, and so much so that they're actually leaving some. You've got to have the extra corn, but there is a bit of a wastage whilst you're breeding, but that's just the way it is. And the birds are actually fed in these troughs on the outside, and they put their head through there into the feeders, so I can feed them from inside here without going inside the loft. Okay guys, just a quick update. So we're inside the smaller shed now, guys, and there's the frill stencil hen, but unfortunately she still hasn't laid. She's going through all the motions and really keen, but she hasn't laid. And I don't think she's capable of laying either, guys. I'm moving on to this youngster now that you seen last week. Come on, son. Come on, lad. Come on. And as you can see, look at the size of this thing now. That's in a week. It's ready for a ring. We're going to need to get a ring on that, guys. I might have even left it a little too late to get the ring on. But we'll see. It doesn't matter if he doesn't get a ring on. But it'd be better if he does. So the young cock, the first ever nest, seems to be doing okay. Now this here is also a last year's young bird, and this is his first nest. This is an opal checker cock. And they have like a pink colouring in the wings. And again, these are like rare type breeds, these guys. They're not common colours in domestic racing pigeons. This is one I bred myself last year, this one. And this is his first nest ever. And as you can see, he has two youngsters in there as well. And now he normally jumps off the nest, but he's being quite brave today because his youngsters have hatched now. So we'll just close that up. So there's two in there, and there's one in there. Now we're just going to move down to the milky and see if these... Now I know these eggs had been laid, but I'm not sure whether these were even full or not, guys. But this is a blue milky cock. Come on, John, come on, lad, come on, come on. So I just want to have a look at the eggs, see if they are full. Come on, John, come on, come on, come on, lad, come on, come on. Come on, son, come on then, come on. Back in your nest, come on. Come on, back in your nest. So the good news is, they're both full. Come on. And then moving on to a brown bar cock. And this is the one that's paired to the reduced hen, which again, as I said, they're very, very rare in this country, guys. I imported the reduced from Holland. Come on, lad, come on. Come on, son. Come on. There you go. And I'm just going to have a little look. Yeah, so the second egg has been laid, but of course it's too early yet to see if they're full. They were only laid last weekend, so yeah, still too early. Moving up to the little Project Almond. You can see he's defending his nest extremely well. I just want to see if the eggs are actually full, because it didn't look like they were last week. Hard to say. Come on, son. Come on, lad. Come on, lad. Come on. It's a bit hard to say, guys, but I think they might be clear the first time round. Now that could be down to the inexperience of the hen, the female, which is a yellow hen. She's only a last year's young bird, but she's actually a very late bred bird as well. And this is the other coward that normally jumps off the nest and did last week. He is the father of this one down here. And as you can see, very similar in colouring. The son is actually better coloured than the father. However, he should have a youngster on here now. This was, if you may remember, this was just about to start chipping last week. Come on, son. Come on, lad. He might be a bit braver now if he's got a youngster on there. Yeah. Come on, son. Come on. And as you can see, there is one youngster on there. The other egg is clear. And you can see, once the youngsters pop out, how it makes the parents bond so much stronger. And he's he normally won't sit on the nest if he sees me enter the loft, but you can see I've just had my hand in there with him, and not only has he stayed put, he tried to fight me off as well, guys. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed because it looks like these might be clear. However, we'll give them another week, and if they haven't hatched or showed signs of being full next week, then we're going to throw them out and let him try again. Alright guys, just another quick update in the pigeon loft and a look at the youngsters. Okay guys, so I'm just about to try and get this ring onto that young pigeon. These come from the Royal Pigeon Racing Association. GB standing for Great Britain, 20 for the year. S relates to the club that I used to fly in, Saneth. And then they have an identification, a 5-digit identification number, 34704 in this particular instance. I'm just about to go and try and get this onto that young pigeon if I haven't left it too late. Catch you later, guys. So what I'm going to try and attempt to do, guys, is show you how we put the ring onto the young birds. You take the leg and we fold this toe backwards. Take the other 3 toes, put the ring on, feeding 3 toes through the ring, slide the ring down the leg and then grab the toe from the back and bend it through. And there you can see, guys, we've got a young bird and the ring is on now for life. Okay, so I know this isn't brilliant, but I've had to rest the phone down and try and show you how I've done this. But as you can see, that ring will not come back off this youngster now. And this youngster is now got an identification for the rest of its life. It also, at first glance, appears that it is going to be a brown. And it would be very nice if it turned into a brown almond. And here we have the frill stencils, guys, that I really wanted the youngsters off more than anything. These are extremely rare in this country. Very, very rare. Now we know the male is fertile and I have got 2 youngsters off him, as I say, from last year with a different bird. But the female, I doubt, is never going to lay. And that's the reduced opal hen. As I say, I imported her from Holland. Beautiful birds, the reduced. And this is the solid yellow that we have paid to the little almond project bird. That's the almond that's the father of that young bird I've just put a ring on. And I think this is the first time you're seeing the milky checker. It's hard to actually see from here, guys, but that's a milky check. Trying to get a better picture of it, but I'm struggling. Yeah. And the camera doesn't really want to focus properly for some reason today. But there we go. As you can see, these frill stencil birds are beautiful. And I want to try and put that colour into the racing pigeons, but it's a very, very, very long project. People have spent 30 years or more in America trying to do it. And they have got some very, very classy frill stencil birds in race bird type now. Anyways, guys, just another quick update. Catch you later. Bye. So I'm just going to try and give you a quick look at the females that are in this biggish area here, guys. So here you see, that's an indigo bar. It looks like a blue pigeon, but it's not actually a blue. Oh, sorry, that one was a blue pied. I've got it mixed up. Sorry, guys. So here you see on the right, we have an almond hen. She happens to be the mother of that almond cock that I've just put the ring on its youngster. So she's the mother of that cock from last year. Next to her we have a red-pied Staff Van Riet, very well-bred pigeon. Has breadwinners. It's also a half-sister to a second combine winner. And then we have a we have an opal pied next to that, and then we have another almond which I imported from Holland last year. A really nice almond. They're not standing particularly well because it's pretty cool and they're just sitting hunched up a little bit today. Moving up, there's the brown barless hen, a better picture of the brown barless hen with the brown barless cock. and in the background of that there is actually an indigo, a double factor indigo hen. Now she looks like a red pigeon, but she's not. She's actually an indigo pigeon, but she has a double factor which makes her look red. But she has a steel grey head which is not really visible from this distance and zoomed in, as does the cockbird that she's paired to. But she's actually a double factor indigo. Alright guys, just another little quick update. Okay guys, so just a bit of a roundup. Hope you've enjoyed today's little video. It isn't too long, hopefully this time. Try and keep it a bit shorter. So yeah, I've enjoyed my time up here. I've literally just potted, as you can see. Quick look in the lofts. Several youngsters are out now. One of them's got its ring on. And we're just waiting with bated breath to see what else hatches out, if anything. And if they don't, well, we'll just throw them away and we'll start again. Once I do that, I'm going to remove the frill stenciled hen, find the daughter from last year that I bred off the frill stencil cock, and hopefully we can get her to pair up to that cock and see what happens. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be because she's already found herself a mate in another loft. So I'm going to maybe try and get the males and females separated in the other loft while I'm off as well. That'll give her a break away from that male bird so that she might check to the frill stencil cock a bit better if and when I do test them. Okay guys, we will keep you posted as we go along with the youngsters, and you can see and watch them grow. And you'll see just how fast they do grow. It's amazing, it really is. So I've had a leisurely day. I've got the hen feed which I needed doing. It's all topped up. The surplus bags are put away in the stores. We've had a quick look in the garden. Everything appears to be relatively okay, as well as it can be, bar for the birds that's digging things out. Try and get a mesh covering on that tomorrow at some point. There's lots of other little odds and sods that needs doing, guys, but yeah, we will get round to it. Slowly but surely wins the day. And at least I've got 10, well, if I don't count today, I've got 9 days left to try and get some of it done. Got the salads picked. We had some rhubarb midweek. I picked some rhubarb midweek. That's our second picking off the rhubarb. And the wife made a crumble and it was very, very nice. I had that last night with some custard. Very nice. So we are starting to see some fruits of the labour, as they say. Slow going, but yeah, we're getting there. It's not an amazing year, but I didn't expect it would be because I was late at doing everything this year. But yeah, like I said, if we get anything at all, it'd be better than nothing. So yeah, great stuff. Right guys, thanks again for watching. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, please do. And then hit the little bell icon on the right, and that'll alert you every time I put up a new video. Any comments, please leave them in the sections below. Much appreciated. Questions, please ask in the comments below, and we'll try to answer you if and when we can. Stay safe, be practical, take care, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you later, guys.